You know a lot about golf.
Well, we're waiting.
We are those weekend golf guys. We always have been. We always will be. And Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year.
It's holiday season, man.
It is indeed. And what we're going to do for the rest of the year is basically recap the top 3 shows that we have done this past year as decided by you, the listener.
Wait a minute. I thought I was in charge of this.
No, you sloughed off. You went and you started like teaching people to play golf and stuff, and somebody had to actually do the work.
I even brought in special guests to do this today.
Then bring them on. James Hong, special guest. How are you, sir?
How are you guys?
We're great.
You're awesome.
We are great. Now, you probably, James, being another fantastic golf instructor, have run into this guy. The number 3 episode in popularity this year was the one we called Writing Checks Our Game Can't Cash. And what we used to illustrate that was the guy who just hit that great 210-yard drive straight down the middle of the fairway onto par 5, and then waits for the green to clear because it's 240 yards away, and he doesn't want to hit anybody with that 3-wood.
Yeah.
So you've seen me play. Okay.
Yeah. So we got to sit there and watch this guy cold top a shot from the fairway.
Yeah.
Race up to his ball that's 10 feet in front of him and do it again. Then chuck his club down the fairway. Is that what we get to watch?
That's the one, man.
Okay. Yeah, we've all seen that.
I know what Jeff would say because I've heard him. What would you say to assuage somebody's feelings, James, when you watch them do that? Do you have something that, a little positive reinforcement for somebody who does something like that?
No, he doesn't. Kidding me? He does exactly what I do.
What the hell were you thinking?
Okay.
I mean, my students know me well enough where I'll look at them as they're standing there, kind of looking at the terrain, going and like, how far do you hit your driver?
Yeah.
210.
Yeah. Do the math.
How far do you laser it to the hole? 243. Let's do the math again. How far do you hit your driver? And is that the longest club you have in your bag? Yeah. And how far from the hole?
Yeah. But I'm going to catch this one.
Yeah.
This will
be the one. This will be the one. So listen, we all know that guy. What we just have to do is make sure we don't become that guy. Listen and see exactly how you can avoid being that guy. This is our 3rd most popular episode of the year. Writing Checks Our Game Can't Cash. Hang out and come right back. Hi, this is John Ashton, and of course I know you know this. You can learn a lot if you listen to your wife. Back in the day, she kept telling me, you don't have to look like a slob to be comfortable. And then we started getting better clothes. Well, I have now graduated to the Mack Weldon tier of clothing. These clothes look great, and they are the single most comfortable clothes I have ever had. They make clothes for work, for play, golf, whatever. They make clothes for life. And they have a wide range everywhere from underwear to polo shirts that are great and lounge pants, man. Sunday football game, laying around, lounge pants from Mack Weldon. You cannot get a more comfortable pair of pants. Here's what you need to do. I need you to go to MackWeldon.com/weekend. Enter the promo code weekend, and you will get 20% off your first order. That is MackWeldon.com/weekend with the promo code weekend. And I got to tell you, man, you cannot go wrong. These lounge pants will be the most comfortable ones you have ever worn or the best gift you have ever given. I had a girlfriend back in the day who once told me, it's so sexy to have the family jewels smooth with no hair. And then she came at me with a disposable razor, and I was like, oh, no. Nothing that sharp gets that close to the boys. And I guess she must have talked to a lot of guys since then, because now it is a fashion statement. And our sponsor, Manscaped, is here to give you a New Year's resolution that you will actually want to keep. They have the Perfect Package 3.0. It is the below-the-waist grooming package that you need to start your new year off strong and right. You come out of quarantine with clean balls, and thanks to the Lawnmower 3.0, it's a waterproof, skin-safe trimmer that reduces nicks to your two best friends. The 3rd-generation trimmer even has a light, so you can get 20% off plus free shipping if you use the code GOLFGUYS at Manscaped.com. 20% off and free shipping with the code GOLFGUYS at Manscaped.com. 20% off. That's nothing to sneeze at. With free shipping at Manscaped.com. Use the code GOLFGUYS. It's us, those weekend golf guys. I am John Ashton in the studio. He is Jeff Smith at Timber Gate Golf Course in Edinburgh, Indiana. There, I said it right. Did you hear it right that time, man? Okay.
I did. As a matter of fact, it was very good. You turned that into a gate. It's like Watergate, Timber Gate.
Timber
Right?
Gate.
We got the whole gate thing going on here, right?
Man, one of the things that I am so jealous of is that you on many an occasion will take time and actually go out and do a playing lesson.
I do. Lots of people love the fact that I can get them to hit a ball so well, and I can get their club head speed up, and I can make them putt better and chip better and do all this stuff better. But you know what? There is no better learning environment than the golf course to learn how to put it together. I teach pieces, little things about it here or there, but there is no substitute for being shown and told, how do I hit it off this downhill lie, ball below my feet, also tilted down the hill, and it's in thick rough. How do I deal with that shot?
Foot wedge.
Heaven forbid, they're always in situations like that.
Mm-hmm.
But interestingly enough, John, if I took you to the golf course right now, I could show you those pieces as well.
You have.
And it would take strokes off your game. There's a difference, though. Like, for example, we went through this when we were on the golf course. So I take you to a place and I chuck a ball down into a lousy scenario. You instantly get shown how to do it, and then you step up and then you do it. But you know what's missing in that? The emotion that you carry with you to that shot. For example, when you know it's the two of us are together and I'm just chucking a ball down into this situation going, here's how we're going to hit this out. You're in your logic mind. You're sitting there paying attention and you're taking it all in because you're not mad at yourself for hitting it there in the game.
Right.
That's where the stuff we talked about in the last couple of weeks kicks in. And that's how I help people to get them to not be in that frame of mind when they're walking up to their ball. So I have this great tip for people that they're playing with an invisible partner. Well, I have this invisible friend that I play golf with, and every time I hit a shot that the ball is not going where I want it to go, the other guy hit it. So the other guy, I have a name for him. Of course, his name is John.
Of course.
And so every time, of course, well, because that's just how this show works,
Sure.
that every time that there's a ball being struck, I'm standing there looking at it like I'm the spectator. And John actually hit the shot. I have disassociated myself with the shot. So I can go up to it and realize that I'm playing in this alternate shot format. And John, my partner, has decided, yes, Jeff, I'll make you hit this lousy shot to see how good you are. It works because you're not blaming yourself. You've thrown that off to somebody else.
You're blaming me. I mean, John.
I'm not going to talk about whether this mythical John has a bushy mustache or not. I'm just going to say, hey,
right.
This is not me who hit that shot. I didn't. I'm a spectator and I'm watching it, and I got to see where that thing's going because John can't find it because clearly he's blind. By the time I get there, I've never got all stirred up emotionally about it.
Yeah.
I was never there. I was just the guy going, yep, it's right over here. And then somebody hands me a club, goes, here, you do this. It's your shot. Now all of a sudden the situation goes back to how when you and I are on the golf course and I'm showing you the shot, and now you have a better chance of pulling it off because you're realizing there's no emotion involved in the shot. It's just, okay, Jeff just threw this ball in this situation for me. I got to go hit it. That's how you lie to yourself. It really works.
The other side of that that's beneficial, while you're walking up to or traveling to where the shot landed, you're not berating yourself. You're not thinking, why did it do that?
No.
How do I make sure that doesn't happen again? But you were thinking about, okay, how do I get out of this shot now? So you're approaching it
and
much.
that's the thing. Sometimes you're thinking about nothing until you get up to it and actually see it. But you're right. You're no longer berating yourself because I'm berating you.
Of course, John.
John. That's who I'm like, oh, yeah, thanks, John. It's interesting how many people, that play golf with him and they look at this and how many other people that I've gotten to blame John. All of my students blame John.
That John guy's going to be famous, man.
Infamous.
I do want to say something, though. You had alluded to the shot that John guy had gotten you into, which was a side hill ball below your feet, side hill lie. You actually put me in that position once.
I did. I went out, I threw a ball down there
Yep.
and said, here, look at this.
And I will have you know that I have gotten myself in those positions since then. And I have extricated myself quite effectively.
It's just because you wanted to go there and practice that shot again because it's so cool to hit it out.
It surprises everybody when you hit it out,
Yeah.
you know, because the ball's below your feet, first off. And I'll tell you, I'll see if I remember correctly what you tell me to do, because everybody could stand to learn this. But first off, your stance gets a little bit wider because you need to balance yourself more because you're leaning over a little bit more. You make sure that your shoulders are parallel to the ground. So
That's right.
if it's a downhill lie, your right shoulder or the shoulder
Left shoulder.
should be higher than the left, you know, whatever. You just make sure that it's
You're matching your shoulder level to the
To the
slope that
lake.
you're standing on.
right. Thank you very much for putting it that way. That's the words I was looking.
I have a tendency to say these things a lot, so I found a good way.
And then depending on what club you're using, you may or may not want to aim further to the left if you're on the left-hand rough and you're shooting into the green or something.
That's right, depending on the club, the lie.
Right.
But remember, stabilize the heck out of the downhill leg.
Yeah, that's where your weight is, basically, so you don't get all funky moving. But with the aiming thing, so many people make the mistake. So many of us think that, okay, well, we've heard it's a fade lie. You're on the side of a hill and the ball's below your feet. The ball's going to fade. Well, if you're using a wood or a hybrid or, you know, a 5-iron or 6-iron or something, probably not. But if it's a lofted club, then yes, it will.
Yeah, so let's think about it in this way. A really great way to make sure that you get the straightest ball flight possible is to, step one, place the club on the ground behind the ball and make the face point exactly where you want your ball to start flying. Before you grip it, stabilize your body. Place your body, aim, get your ball position, stabilize the heck, spread your legs in this case, drop your rear end in this case, stabilize the heck out of the downhill leg, and then drop your arms straight down. And then, and only then, grip the club. Because now what we've done is we've got a club that's going to send the ball in the direction we want the thing to start flying as soon as it makes contact.
Mm-hmm.
But we've also got the correct length of club in our hands so that we're perfectly balanced.
Right. And it all
So we
works.
stand the best chance of our best contact.
And when it all comes together, man, it's a thing of beauty. And
Oh, it really is.
and the guys playing with you go, how the heck did you do that? You know, you mentioned a little earlier too about you know, if you can blame everything on that John guy, then
We can, and we do.
then you clear your mind and your performance happens at a higher level. There's another way.
I agree.
There's another way you can go about doing that if you prefer not to blame John.
But that's the fun part.
but this is just as effective, if not more so. You know, when you play golf, you need a delicate balance between, you know, your nerves and alertness and knowing what you're doing and being upset and everything like that. You don't want to be low energy. You don't want to be, okay, well, it's just John's fault, no problem. Or you don't want to be all high strung and tense. You want to be really perfect. You want to find that sweet spot in there. And you can do that, by taking some WellCare Botanicals, some premium CBD products, because they help with that concentration. They also, as a side effect, I don't know if it's a side effect or a main effect, you can use whichever you want to use it for. Do you want to help your concentration or do you want to relieve aches and pains? Because golfers have aches and pains, starting at about hole number 5 for most
I
of
get
us.
the aches and pains.
You know?
I don't know. It depends on who you're playing with. It can start a little early.
That's true. And a lot of them could be mental, which, you know, again, you could just chill out a little bit and take it. Ingredients, no additives, pesticides, or parabens. And once they harvest the hemp, it's processed by CO2 extraction, and that ensures zero residual solvents. And then they test it by industry-leading chemists. You got to check this stuff out. You got to try it. I want you to lose your first tree jitters or your middle fairway jitters or your thinking too hard jitters and get the game you deserve.
If you're playing with John Jitters, whatever that is.
And that starts with WellCare. Use the code WEEKEND. Get 20% off your first purchase. You just go to wellcarebotanicals.com. Did I say botanicals? I think I pronounced that incorrectly. You go to wellcarebotanicals.com. Or you can call 888-211-2011. I like that. 888-211-2011. wellcarebotanicals.com. Use the code WEEKEND, get 20% off your first purchase, and hang out here because we got a lot more great advice coming up. Don't you move. There are a bunch of things that can negatively affect your performance on the golf course. You know, there's those nagging pains, the shoulder pain, elbow pain, wrist pain, even back pain, that kind of stuff. They're just nagging and they can negatively affect how well you move. But something else is the anxiety, the nervousness, especially, you know, people watching you get a little uptight. Getting uptight is the worst thing for your golf game. So you can lose the first tee jitters and you can get on the level of performance you deserve. Well-being starts with WellCare. You need to use the code WEEKEND for 20% off your first purchase. Visit wellcarebotanicals.com. That's wellcarebotanicals.com, or you can call 888-211-2011. You've got problems with aches, you got problems with pains, or more like me, you got problems with first tee jitters and anxiety. Wellcarebotanicals.com. Use code WEEKEND. Or call 888-211-2011.
Hi, this is Neil Michaels, sales manager for those Weekend Golf Guys. You know, as guys, so much of our identity is wrapped up in our hair. That's why when we start noticing the first signs of hair loss, it feels like panic time. No guy is ever ready to go bald, and I speak from experience. The bald spot, the receding hairline, ugh. Thankfully, now there's Keeps, the simple and easy way to keep your hair. Until I started using Keeps, I keeps hair in my sink and I keeps a lot of my hair on the floor. Well, Keeps offers generic versions of the only 2 FDA-approved hair loss products out there. You may have even tried them before, but never for this price. Keeps treatments start at just $10 a month. Plus, for a limited time, you can get your first month free. Keeps treatments usually take 4 to 6 months to see results. So what are you waiting for? Go to keeps.com/golfguys to get your first month of treatment free. That's KEEPS.com/golfguys.
So I have a friend with a house on a golf course, and he lives in mortal fear every day of somebody breaking a window. And I said, man, that's the least of your worries. He said, well, what are you talking about? I said, well, you know about home title theft? He said, what's that? And I said, man, the FBI says it's like growing by leaps and bounds. Cybercrime itself is up by 75%, and home title theft is one of those. Cyber criminals find the title to your home online. They forge your signature on a quitclaim deed. Then they refile as the new owner of your home, and you're off the title. Then they take out loans against your home, and they steal the cash. They stick you with the payments. They destroy your credit, and you probably don't even know about it until you start getting late payments or a foreclosure notice. That's what you should be afraid of. But you can fix it. Go to HomeTitleLock.com and register your address to see if you've already been a victim. Then use code RADIO and get 30 free days of protection. That's code RADIO at HomeTitleLock.com. And we're back, those Weekend Golf Guys. I'm John Ashton in the studio. He is Jeff Smith in the golf studio at the Golf Cave at Timber Gate Golf Course in Edinburgh, Indiana. And he goes out and takes clients out to play golf. It's a bit intimidating playing golf with Jeff Smith. I don't care how good you are. It's a bit intimidating because one of the things, he won't laugh at you. He will laugh next to you.
And I will laugh with you.
He will tell
the art form here is for me to get you laughing about it.
That's right.
So that way nobody feels bad. So that way I can feel free to just laugh whenever it's necessary.
Yeah. And he doesn't tell you you're doing something wrong. He'll just ask you if you really think that's what you want to do.
Just really kind of fun, actually. You know, when I stand there and I look at you, John, we did this, and I'll just share this with our listeners. When I stand there and I watch you pull out the club and line it all up to do your thing, and then I just walk up and I look at you and I get your attention, I just look at you and I go, really?
Interesting
and then
choice.
All of a sudden, yeah, it changes things. I don't know exactly what about that scenario that I just painted, but all of a sudden people change what they're doing.
Strange. You start to think about it. You go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Jeff's looking at me funny. What am I doing wrong? You need to be a little.
You ask someone in that fun tone that I just had. That would be the sarcasm tone for those of you listening at home. It would be, really?
Yeah.
And you haven't done anything yet. So clearly you know that it's somewhere in the process of deciding what shot to hit, what club to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And normally I see that oddly enough, I think the most interesting times that I see it is when it's clearly a 2-shot to the green kind of situation.
Okay.
And so I see so many people playing golf making a lousy, terrible decision based on distance alone. Let's just say, John, that you are out at 195 yards out, you're in thick rough, and you're behind a tree. And you walk in there with your 3-wood, and I'll just look at you. And I know this is ringing a bell here because this is somewhat the scenario we were talking about that brought this along. I know.
Yeah.
John, your face is red. I can see it all the way from Louisville all the way up here. You're glowing, sir.
I like that. Where do you actually think you're going to go with that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Like, how you see this one playing out?
Yeah. Best case scenario, where are you going to end up with that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what are the odds of that best case scenario happening? And then people kind of get the point. And like, okay, so let's step back and look at this. The reality of it is I asked myself this question and I asked students this question. And I said, okay, so let's play smart caddy here for a second. And let's inject this into your game. If I can't knock it in the hole from here, where do I want my next shot to be played from?
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of look at me and go, oh, well, yeah, that seems to make sense.
Yeah.
And then I say, okay, so now that we've talked about that, we've essentially admitted that this is a 2-shot situation.
Mm-hmm.
Which 2 shots do you want? Now, a lot of them will begin to describe to me and effectively defend your decision that was based in ego and nothing more than that. I can get it up there. I'm going to knock this up as close to I can to the green. And then I say, and what if you don't? And then they look at me and go, I'm like, so what are you left with if this shot right here does not get pulled off in the way that you envision? What's the scenario?
2 more shots
Odds
to the
are,
green.
Yeah, right. Odds are good that it'll be an ugly outcome and not a good outcome. So why don't we think of it this way? Instead of taking your 2-shot scenario and saying, I want to hit the longest one first, why don't we take it and see which are the 2 easiest shots in a row? Because when somebody says, hey, you got a 2-shot scenario, I want the first one to be easy and the second one to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can play an easy shot to a easy to get onto the green closer to the flag scenario, those are the 2 shots I'm taking.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to make the easiest, I'm going to make the best contact, and I'm going to have not the worst outcome of either of them.
Yeah. You're going to
Right.
You're going to do it smart. Play smart. That's the one thing you learn to do when you play with Jeff. Just for basically self-defense, you learn to play smart.
But whatever it is
really
that's in coaching that makes it work, right? But people get better as a result of it. And if it happens to be because of a little bit of prodding, let's say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little bit
Because
of prodding
it
never
doesn't-
hurt, right?
Look, it doesn't have to be where I hit you over the head with a baseball bat. I mean, other people, no. But
No.
in your case, well, anyway. But the point is that there's got to be something that rattles your cage enough to make you play the game better. To
Right.
use better strategy because your scores get better. But people have this aversion to say it's a 2-shot scenario and they still think, oh, I'm going to make par from this.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they don't realize that it's possible to make par from the easy combination of shots
Yeah.
because you still have a chance to make the putt. But so many people say, oh, well, I don't want to play for bogey. And I've heard people say that to me. I'm like, oh, so you like doubles and triples instead. And then they stop trying to defend what's going on because they realize that I'm pointing out something that is going to happen.
Right.
And I didn't just say that for my own amusement. Although I was amused when I said it, I'm not saying it just for my own amusement.
Right,
I'm actually telling the truth.
There's a lesson to be learned here. This
Yes.
is the case in point. I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to tell the exact scenario in which this first happened with you and I. Really nice par 4. Simple little slight dog leg to the right, trees all along the right-hand side. Old trees. Tall trees.
Yes.
Big ones. Who thought I could have hit a ball over those trees?
You did.
I did.
I didn't.
And this was the 6th hole, and it's parallel to the 3rd hole, and I wound up in the 3rd fairway. So I'm up there trying to find a window, trying to find 2 trees wide enough apart to get my ball back on the fairway. Why is it that we feel we're on the 6th hole, we got to play the 6th fairway? Because the 3rd fairway is parallel all the way to the green. And as you pointed out to me very nicely, the tree stopped about 30 yards short of the green. So why do a shot that you've got a maybe 1 in 10 chance of making and still going to just get the ball out in the middle of the fairway when you can have a very nice shot right up the 3rd fairway without being encumbered by having to get over trees, clear the trees, and then have a chip onto the green? Who'd have thunk it?
Right. And it was interesting because that was like a real awakening for you.
It was.
And you'd actually played golf for quite some time before we'd ever met.
Yes. Not well, but I had played golf.
But it made me at that time question things about you.
He told me he had a high IQ, but I'm doubting it now.
Right. One was, do I really want to do a radio show with this guy? or is this not for me? Here we are 7 years later, and God knows that question still keeps out.
Jury's still out, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. But I mean,
but it's strategy is so important. And to make a lot of light of what it is, because that's what we do on this show. We have fun.
Yeah.
But to make a lot of light of strategy on the golf course actually helps people play better.
It does.
Because they realize, hey, I can do that. It's okay to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get to the point where you see a hazard between you and the green. And rather than sitting there and saying, oh, I can get over that, you say, maybe I should lay up. Because we all have overestimations of our abilities. No matter what level of golf we play at, I think we have overestimations of our abilities. And I
agree with that.
We tend to think that what we're going to accomplish can only be accomplished by hitting a perfect shot in the scenario we're in.
And of course, you're going to do that perfect shot right now.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, of course it is.
So we're out on the golf course, and I'm out with I play with this a group of clowns that from my town. They go out to Las Vegas and they play some fun golf courses. And of course, we're out there and we're on the second shot on a par 5, and the first guy's only hit his tee shot like 210 yards. And yet the other guys are out in front of us, and they're waiting and wait. We're waiting and waiting and waiting because he's got his 3-wood in his hand and he's pacing around behind his golf ball. He's hands on the hip in it because the other guys haven't left the green yet. Now, granted, he's hit a 210-yard shot, not a 310-yard shot,
right.
A 210-yard tee shot that he caught relatively solid.
And he's still how far from the green?
He's plenty. Let's say it's 270 or something along those lines.
Right. And he doesn't want to hit into it.
And he's pacing around, of course, hands on the hip and, making 200 practice swings while the rest of us are sitting in the cart with a beverage and a radio, and we're having a good time. And the story from here.
Yeah.
You've seen it many times. We've all seen it many times. He finally gets it going. They finally clear the green. And then he's all huffy and goes up and rushes up to his ball, and he takes a mighty whack at it and cold tops it about 45 yards. And of course, some of us in our gathering, somebody had to say, we waited for that. Right?
That's right.
And, that's just a typical thing, right? Golfers do things that they overestimate, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a very high opinion of our abilities. That we just our minds are writing checks that our abilities can't cash. We'll just put it that way. We got more.
That's right.
We do. We have plenty more. And we're going to give it some thought and come back and give it to you. Hang out. We'll be right back. We are those Weekend Golfcast. There's a story I heard at the club I was playing golf at last week. A guy, he was out there having a great time playing 18 holes. While he was doing that, his house was being stolen. Now, not like, jacked up off the foundation and being driven down the road. It was much more subtle than that. It was all done online because cyber criminals can do that now. They can go online and find the title to your home. It is there online. Then they forge your signature on a quit claim deed and they refile as the new owner of your home. You are off the title. They destroy you. They take out loans against your home. They steal the cash. They stick you with the payments. And you probably don't even know it until you start getting late payments or even foreclosure notice. Okay, so here's what you need to do right now. Go to HomeTitleLock.com and register your address to see if you're already a victim. Then use code RADIO for 30 days free protection. That's code RADIO. HomeTitleLock.com and get 30 free days of protection. HomeTitleLock.com. Code RADIO.
Stunning.
You don't have to hit a shot to fall in love with the Pete Dye and Donald Ross courses at French Lick Resort. Our hotel and golf packages are the way to go. Add the casino and spas, and it's a road trip for the memory book. Safely get back to the game you love with one of the packages found online at FrenchLick.com. Legendary golf at French Lick Resort. A breath of fresh air.
Must be 21 to enter casino. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hi, this is John Ashton, and of course I know you know this. You can learn a lot if you listen to your wife. Back in the day, she kept telling me, you don't have to look like a slob to be comfortable. And then we started getting better clothes. Well, I have now graduated to the Mack Weldon tier of clothing. These clothes look great, and they are the single most comfortable clothes I have ever had. They make clothes for work, for play, golf, whatever. They make clothes for life. And they have a wide range everywhere from underwear to polo shirts that are great and lounge pants, man. Sunday football game, laying around, lounge pants from Mack Weldon. You cannot get a more comfortable pair of pants. Here's what you need to do. I need you to go to MackWeldon.com/weekend. Enter the promo code weekend, and you will get 20% off your first order. That is MackWeldon.com/weekend with the promo code weekend. And I got to tell you, man, you cannot go wrong. These lounge pants will be the most comfortable ones you have ever worn or the best gift you have ever given. You want to see how great a golf instructor Jeff Smith really is? It's very easy. $5golfclub.com. The number $5golfclub.com. Hey, we are back, those Weekend Golf Guys. I'm John Ashton. He is Jeff Smith. I am in the studio. He is at the Golf Cave, Timbergate Golf Course in Edinburgh, Indiana. And one of the things we've been talking about, and we've been talking about it not only today, but it's one of the recurring themes, and that is getting your head straight, worrying about stuff. And a lot of times you worry about stuff that's got nothing to do with your golf game. I was playing, we were at Scramble the other day, man. And one of the guys on the team, I mean, he's over the ball and, he's done his practice swings and he's ready to go. And suddenly he stops and he looks up and he goes, I don't think I closed my garage door. He said, yeah, man, crap. I don't remember if I closed my garage door or not.
Is that the equivalent of I might have left the iron on?
Yes.
Or I left the refrigerator door open?
Exactly. I said, so what are you afraid that, one of those 75 putters you got stuck in the corner is going to get stolen or what? And he just said, no, man, I just worry about, someone coming in and taking my house and, coming in and ripping me off and stuff like that. I said, man, you got worse things to worry about with your house. Don't worry about it. And he said, what are you talking about? And I said, well, as long as you're getting all the Twitter pated, don't worry about the garage door being open. How about your title? Is it safe? And he went, what? I said, yeah, cybercrime. You've heard about it.
Yeah.
The home title theft is like 75% increase in that kind of crime since the COVID thing happened. It's real easy. Somebody can find a title to your home online. They forge your signature on a quit claim deed. And then they refile as a new owner of your home and you're off the title. And you don't know about it until you start getting letters saying, hey, you owe us 90 days payments. And you go, for what?
Right.
And you can lose the house that way, man.
I think that there's something's out there that can protect you from stuff like that.
It is, man. And you should do it too. It's called Home Title Lock. And your home, It's a safe haven. It's your most valuable investment. You need to protect it with more than just, like insurance. But what happens is Home Title Lock puts a barrier around your home's title. And if anybody tries to tamper with it, that attempt is shut down immediately, and then you are alerted. So you know that it's going to happen before it happens, and you can fix it. So what you need to do now is just go to HomeTitleLock.com, register your address, and see if you are already a victim. Then use the code RADIO, and you'll get 30 free days of protection. And that's code RADIO, HomeTitleLock.com. And then all you'll have to worry about is, did you close the garage door?
Yeah, right. then it's all of a sudden you got to worry about your refrigerator and the steaks that you've got out there and the beer that you got in there. That's the only trouble you got.
But at least you'll still have the house,
Yeah.
But
we got your neighbor John who always wanders in there and starts eating all your food.
That John guy, man, he is always getting in the way. You got to watch out for that guy. It's a shame that we do that, though. We worry about everything. We worry about whether the guys next door are going to be laughing at us, or the guys on the next tee, or the guys waiting for us. One of the things we have posted at Facebook.com/golfguys is for a golfer, the most fulfilling thing you can ever do. It's not great success at your business. Yeah. It's not making a whole lot of money. It's striping a drive straight down the middle when a group lets you play through.
Yeah.
That is the most satisfying thing a golfer can do. Suddenly they go, you want to play through? And you go, okay. And there's 4 guys watching you, and you don't want their reaction to be, oh no, why did we do that? now this twosome's going to hold us up. There's just too much stuff to think about, man.
There's a lot of that. So when you're on the golf course, and John, you have long said to me that you were a normal guy in the fact that you kind of got nervous playing around people you didn't know.
Yep.
And because you were not as secure as you are today as a golfer.
Exactly. I had no idea where the shot was going to go.
And you didn't want to be that guy that, oh my God, we got hooked up with this guy and he can't hit a ball anywhere he can find.
Yep.
And, I really understand that because I'm on the other end of that a lot where I don't really care. So mentally, I'm on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just there to talk to people and have fun. And because I don't really care where my ball goes. I mean, I know where it's going, but I don't really care about that.
Right.
So it makes it easier for me to just meet other people and enjoy them. So I'm in a different mental spot than what you were.
Yeah. Well, because you know where it's going, you don't have to care.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Is that now that you are improving and you know where your ball's going for the most part, it's easier for you. But, you do this great thing that a lot of people do. You start off basically with the self-deprecation sentences and humor to basically take yourself off the hook if the ball doesn't go well.
Right.
And that works for a lot of people. We hear a lot of it, and it's the what is commonly known as the excuses before we play. Mm-hmm. Oh, my back hurts today, or I haven't played in 2 years, or these are just rentals, or I'm borrowing these.
Or my wife yelled at me just before we left the house.
Something along the lines of, I'm just a little sore, I'm a little stiff, I haven't done this in a while. Guys, cut me some slack here. That basically saying, I'm trying to lessen my own expectations by lessening everybody else's perceived expectations. Most people don't really expect anything out of anybody anyway.
Yeah.
That would just me.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You put more pressure on you than the other people are putting pressure on you.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. But here's my thought for a lot of the people that are out there that are in the situation that you were in and not so much anymore. Here's a little piece of knowledge that has served me well over the years of playing with brand new people. Conversationally on the tee, I start asking them about them, and then the people become friendlier, and it makes people feel more at ease.
Right.
The other thing is that I've always been taught that you could play with anybody at any skill level if you did 2 things. Walk fast, keep your mouth shut.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you do those things, all of a sudden you are more socially at ease, and then better golf comes because you're not making yourself nervous because of what you think someone else thinks about how you play the game.
Right. You just have to get over it. And it's detrimental to being able to play the game. it's a vicious downward cycle because the more
There's
you
no doubt.
worry about hitting a good shot, the less the chance you hitting a good shot, you know?
Yeah,
and
absolutely true.
So, and that again, I highly recommend you go back and listen to Joe Bosco, performance coach from the last 2 weeks at thoseweekendgolfguys.com, and just learn some foolproof and very easy techniques to just ignore it, basically. Ignore those circumstances that cause you pain, or do some of that CBD oil from WellCare Botanicals, because that'll give you kind of a chill atmosphere also out there, you know, plus take care of any aches and pains you might have, which is good. So, but then again, you can always use those aches and pains as excuses for hitting bad shots.
You can.
What do I want to do?
You can still, you could take the CBD, feel better about it, but not let anybody know and go, you know, my back's been really bothering me, and kind of do this little contortion, even though, you know, you're just faking it anyway.
It's true. That's absolutely true. All right, man.
It's funny. I see people do this. They get out of their car. They're perfectly fine. They get in the golf cart. They get out of the golf cart. As soon as they start talking about it, then they start torquing their back.
Yeah.
It's rolling their shoulders, kind of doing this arm lift behind their head thing. Going, I don't know, guys. You know, oh, it's so funny.
And the only thing funnier than that is seeing some of these stretching routines that some guys work themselves into.
Nobody really needs the sight of certain people or body types, let's say it that way, doing an awful lot of stretchy contortionist routines. That's not really helping anybody here. Excuse me. Waiter, can I have my sunglasses, please?
But let's get back to the whole idea of a playing lesson. Is there a difference? Because I know there would be for a client mentally in a playing lesson and a round with you. Because I know
that's two very different things.
Because I know when we played together, it took almost 4 holes for me to look at you and say, Jeff, what am I doing wrong? Before you said, oh, thank God for asking.
Yeah, right. Because when I'm just playing golf, I'm not going to sit there and try to foist my help on someone that doesn't ask for it. That's the crux of it. They're there to play. I'm there to play until they start to ask. That's the moment when things change into this. And then I give them something to answer their question. And if they ask a second one, now I know that they want to do more than just play golf and ask that one question.
Now it becomes a playing lesson.
Yeah, now it can bleed into that. But there's a time I go and play golf with people.
Mm-hmm.
And like it was when I played with you, there was 4 holes of pain that I watched and I said 0.
Right.
Because at the same time, I also didn't know if that was good golf for you.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I was guessing by the wincing looks on your face, but I didn't, you know, the chuckling of your partners really didn't give it away, because that might have been just their daily highlight. And that's why they play golf with you. I don't know.
Could be.
But
yeah.
I just don't know that.
Let's invite John. We need the comic relief.
Exactly. But maybe that's just you. And so I've seen that. Can you imagine if I'd have made the mistake of saying, hey, John, I could really help you with that. And you turn around and go, that's one of the best shots I've ever hit. Like, oh, boy.
Whoops.
Check, please.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's another reason why, too, we encourage you, do not ever give advice. I mentioned to you off air, we were playing in that 3-person scramble, and the other 3 guys that we were playing against, one of the guys, I mean, all of them hit the ball like 300 yards off the tee, but you had no idea what direction it was going in. In fact, we had a little side game going, our team, because we'd sit back and go, okay, he's going to hit this one in the trees on it, right? You know, we played that kind of game. But the guy kept saying, man, my slice is bad today. I didn't say a word, but it wasn't his slice, man. He was hitting the ball where he was aiming. Stand behind him and you could see that. He was lined up, bam, right where he hit that ball. I didn't say anything because I don't have the qualifications to say anything. All you
need to do, John, is, you know, and this is what everybody else needs to do. If you're not qualified, don't try to give advice. Just give them my phone number.
Yeah.
Just send them look, everybody that's listening to this show right now knows how to get a hold of us.
Yep.
Right on the Facebook page.
Yep.
Right. They can go to jeffsmithgolfinstruction.com. They can go right to my website. My phone number's right there. Just give them my number and I'll do a remote session with them. Because if you give them advice and you're not qualified, you really did not help them.
You can harm them.
Is to help them. Yeah.
Yeah.
If your goal is to truly help them, send them to a qualified person.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And
if you're listening to the show, well, then send them to me.
Yeah. And even if they ask, if you're not qualified, don't even bother
to
give advice. Just these 3 words. I don't know. Practice now. After me. I don't know.
Wow, you say that so quickly. I mean, that rolls off your tongue like
it does.
You've said that for your whole life.
Well practiced. Well practiced. Again, overcoming the pain. And I think if you learn nothing from this week, try with every fiber of your being to pretend someone else hit your bad shot.
That's right. His name is John.
It could be. And just as you're walking up to the ball to see the results of that bad shot, be bad-mouthing that John dude. Don't worry, he can take it. And that way you can look at your next shot with a much clearer mind. And also keep in mind that if it's a 2-shot shot, take 2 shots and make them the 2 easiest shots you possibly can.
Yeah. Pick easy and easy.
That's it. So
that's what you want.
There we go. So that's if you learn nothing from this week, learn 2 things. 1, take the easiest shot you possibly can. And 2, blame that John guy for everything that goes wrong.
There you go. You got the picture.
We got it down. We got more. We'll be right back. Hang out. We are those weekend golf guys. Of course, we have a Facebook page, facebook.com/golf guys. We would love it if you were to go there and like us. Facebook.com/golf guys.
Stunning.
You don't have to hit a shot to fall in love with the Pete Dye and Donald Ross courses at French Lick Resort. Our hotel and golf packages are the way to go. Add the casino and spas, and it's a road trip for the memory book. Safely get back to the game you love with one of the packages found online at FrenchLick.com. Legendary golf at French Lick Resort. A breath of fresh air.
Must be 21 to enter casino. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Are you familiar with the Greek god of balls? His name is Testicles. A very minor mythological figure, I will admit. Every year they'd have this festival where the guys would get together and they'd pull out their nose hair and their ear hair. You could hear the screaming from miles away. That stuff hurts, but it doesn't have to. You can't live with it, though, because this stuff's gross. 79% of people asked said, yeah, nose hair, yuck. So what I need you to do is to check out a thing called the Manscaped Performance Package. This is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Included in this new package from Manscaped is the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. It's waterproof. It uses a 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual blade system. And the nose and the ear hair trimmer provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps prevent nicks and snags and tugs and all those delicate holes. Plus, in this bundle is included the Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer. Testicles himself says this is the best trimmer on the market for your balls, butt, and body. And the performance package is the best value that Manscaped has to offer. You can get 20% off plus free shipping with the code GOLFGUYS right now at manscaped.com. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code GOLFGUYS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code GOLFGUYS. What are you waiting for? Go whack your weeds. Make sure your balls look great during the process. Do it in honor of Testicles. Manscaped.com/golfguys. Yeah, you have been that guy on many an occasion. We are those weekend golf guys. That was the third most popular episode of the past year, 2020. Hey, James, are golf instructors from New York any more polite than normal people from New York?
They can be.
Does this have something to do with how much you're being paid at the moment? What time of season is it? It's pay season. James, what do you do in that situation, right? What do you have another ball in your hand already, ready to toss down as soon as they strike it, and you just draw up another one at their feet before they see it splash on the water? What do you do?
I'll actually, you can see it's happening. They're looking in their bag. They're pulling out the 7-iron when they need a 5-wood. We'll actually just have 2 balls. I'll put a ball on the tee for them, and I'll kind of use it as like a teaching moment. Just say, go ahead, hit your 7-iron. And then we're going to hit the 5-wood. These are both my balls, so if you lose it, don't worry about it. I just want you to focus. You're trying to be nice about it. Mm-hmm. So It's like, don't worry about the ball. It's my ball. Don't, you know, go ahead, hit it. And then they hit it. Not bad. That was a good 7-iron. Too bad it's not this distance. And then you put another ball on the tee and say, all right, try it with a 5-wood. And then hopefully when they see the difference there, the light bulb will go on, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
I do something really similar to that, except I actually use their balls, but I still say that they're mine.
Right.
Oops, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were already out of ball.
Yeah, well, just to kind of show you how many lessons like this I give. Yeah.
He's got the gigantic range basket.
The barrel of balls.
Literally.
There we go.
Those are the golf balls that I find on the golf course that I use for exactly that reason. When I go out on the course with a student or a golfer, I grab literally 4 or 5 of those balls, put them in my pocket. And the funny thing is that teaching basket is only Pro V1.
Well, listen, I wonder how you collected all those.
Someday, Jeff, what you'll do is you keep James busy, and we'll just rifle and rip off his basket.
Yeah, I know where his office is.
Okay, fine.
He's got 3 more back there stacked on top.
He'll never miss him. He will never miss him.
That's
right.
Literally only Pro V1s that I find on the golf course.
Wow. So that, I guess, would mean a lot of people are playing Pro V1s that probably shouldn't be. But
3 full teaching baskets.
That's a subject for a different day. That just proves our point here. Don't be that guy. All right, listen.
That's right.
You can be that guy if you want to. Hopefully you have the meteorological chance to be that guy or any guy out on the golf course, because if it's warm enough for you, hey, just go play some golf.